Welcome to this week's Britain's favourite Sunday Sermon. Well, the big topic in Westminster this week is, what's the definition of extremism? A few words here and a few words there. Everyone's terribly exercised about it. Let me give you a clue. What is most extreme at the moment is the gap between what Westminster and the establishment are obsessing about and actually what ordinary folk up and down the country are worrying about, are anxious about, and frankly very often are furious about. Because Westminster is obsessing over what's the definition of Islamophobia. They're obsessing over net zero. Do we transition? Do we decarbonise our grid by 2030 or 2035? Is it possible? All of this. They're obsessing over gender ideology in schools and in adulthood. But let me tell you, no one's obsessing about this stuff elsewhere in the country. Far from it. I think what people are obsessed about, are furious about, are anxious about, extremely energised about, is what about the cost of living, the fact that we're in the longest recession per person since records began some 70 years ago? What about the fact that people don't feel safe going on our streets at weekends, particularly those from the Jewish community? What about the threats of shoplifting and other crime, just general law and order? What about the worrying about whether or not you can get an operation in a hospital that might take months or indeed years, record waiting lists? Where's the debate about how we get waiting lists down? Where's the debate about how we accelerate the criminal justice system to get the rogues and the toe rags and the shoplifters off our street? There's none of that anywhere. All it is gender ideology this, net zero that, Islamophobia this. It's unbelievable. Where's the proper debate about how you stop the boats? Where's the proper debate about the right level of lawful immigration? Where's the real debate about how we're going to build enough houses to fit the population that we've now got? And my views are well known. I think we've got to freeze immigration so we can allow, frankly, the country to catch up. But there's almost none of that debate. No, it's all about the stuff that Westminster obsesses with. It's just unbelievable. Where is the real debate about why is our electricity the most expensive in the world? Where's the real debate about the vast subsidies of the renewable industry? Where's the debate about the fact that last week we had to import 16% of our electricity? I mean, without the goodwill of France and Norway last week, we'd have absolutely collapsed into major blackouts because the extremists in Westminster for a decade or more have utterly failed to give us cheap, reliable energy and electricity. Where's the debate about the value of hundreds of billions of pounds of gas, oil, shale gas under our feet that we should be extracting to enrich the nation, to make us all more prosperous? None of that at all. It's all just absurd, a word here, a word there, a definition here, a definition there. I'm telling you, the greatest extremism at the moment of all is the width of the gap between the folk in Westminster and their obsessions and actually the real daily challenges and tribulations of people up and down the country. And I fear that that's why so many people, they talk about who they're going to vote for in the forthcoming general election. They say, well, I don't know. I'm homeless. I'm worried about the whole thing. I may not bother. I mean, how desperate is that? The job of Westminster, the job of the establishment is actually to make people's lives better. Here's another extreme thing, for example. I mean, where's the debate about the quality of the equipment and the procurement and the size of our armed forces? almost nothing. Just the odd reference to the odd failed missile test where the missile went a sort of little plop, about as far as you can throw a cricket ball. None of that debate at all in reality. How much money we should be spending on our defence. I'm absolutely clear. I think the British people want politicians, leaders, the authorities to focus 110% on actually getting out of recession, getting the economy growing again, getting waiting lists down, getting police on the streets, sorting out the criminal justice bill, controlling our borders, stopping the boats. All of these things is what the British people are obsessing about. Quite right too. I think an election's coming. It could be very, very soon indeed. And that is what the people are going to want to hear about. And with that, here endeth this week's Sunday Sermon.